Hi everyone, it's lovely to see you. I hope there isn't too much of an echo. I'm dabbling with both my PC and my phone. As you know, sometimes that kind of acts up. So I'm happy to see you if you're coming back. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm Miss Polly if you're new. Um, Today I had a wonderful, wonderful topic um, that was brought to my attention. But I think it is a good intro into dating, just dating in general, and also dating possibly if you're interested in dating polyamorous, or if you're interested in dating um, under polygamy, which is a man who has multiple women, and those women are usually sister wives. And so that will be our poly part of that. And then we have just our regular relationships portion, which we'll get into because the applications of learning how to be in a relationship in general will be helpful overall, bringing greatness to your life. And that's why we have this channel. It is to make sure that we build good relationships and our relationships grow. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Hey, Tracy, lovely to see you. I did not share this with anybody. If you guys would share it for me, I appreciate it. I wanted to kind of do a little bit of a silent walk. I'm also going to, obviously it's still live, but I'm going to download this and add my new intro. But for now, I wanted to hit you up, let you guys have something new. We can have a little bit of conversation and go from there. If you guys are going to be staying with me, let me pull up my comments. Tracy, if I have an echo, please let me know. Bye, darling. So let me pull up my comments because I want to be able to see your comments. So the first thing we want to have our little tea to talk about, like I said, is am I in competition? I think women constantly say they're not in competition, they're not in competition. I think that mindset is great to have, that you shouldn't be in competition, but most women are competing these days. And unfortunately, we're competing in a really, really big pool. And it is like very, very confusing and stressful to be in this pool. Some people actually think that women don't compete for men. They think they don't compete for relationships or women, um, but for that purpose. And that is absolutely not true. Us as women, we are competing constantly in competition. Men, it's a very visual competition a lot of times. You guys hear it when men are kind of saying, "Oh, like he's dry macking." I think that's what they call it. Basically, like he'll say something under his breath about a gentleman that you're talking to kind of put negativity in your mind about the person that you're interested in, and then proceeds to try to date you himself or have you have more interest in him. Well, women, sometimes it is very, very clear, just like that. You'll see women competing in that same kind of atmosphere. You'll have women who set themselves up for the win, I will say. We can talk a little about that, but when we're walking into competition, that's every day. If you're a woman seeking a relationship, which is a real big thing, you're seeking a relationship, you're in competition with other women. You're in competition not only with women, this is very important for you guys, not just the women of our age, we're in competition with women outside of our age range. We're in competition with sometimes trans women. Then we're in competition also with just people who maybe are non-binary, whatever, So at this point, even though you think you're not in competition because you're not looking for the same people, it's not necessarily true. It's not true. Because if you're out here and you're a woman and you're outside and you're trying to look good, you're trying to smell right, you're trying to be feminine, your feminine energy, you're trying to talk to these men a certain way, and you're competing with other women doing the same thing. And now, yes, of course, age is a big factor. So the thing is, you're thinking, oh, in my 20s, I can give somebody 5 years, is not a big deal. Women in their late 30s, we're not thinking like that. And I know women are like, well, if I don't find them, I don't find them. This is not the message to try to prove to me how you don't need to look for me. Okay? This conversation is more about when you're in the competition or when you're looking for someone, you automatically insert yourself into a competition or race with other people who are doing the same exact thing. And you have to come to realization that that is what it is. There's no way around it. You can't try to finagle your way into You're separate from everyone else. It's not, that's not what it is. What you want to do, first off, is know that you're in the competition and then realize what is there a lack of. Now, this may seem sneaky. It's not, but it is what it is. What is there a lack of in the community of men that I'm looking for? That's number one. What is there a lack of? Because that's going to kind of put you in the mindset of what kind of woman you're trying to be, because you want to attract a certain particular man. And you got to know that. You got to figure that out. Now, I'm going to be honest with you. I want you women to stop being a little bit delusional. I love you, but it's just what it is. Okay? Not every woman is meant for a man who's 6 foot and makes 6 figures. Not all of us are meant for that. And that's okay. You have to be okay with that. Not every woman is made for that. That man has a whole criteria of things that he come with. A lot of women ain't ready to be with a man like that, or don't need to be in general. They don't. And you have to be okay with that and accept that and then move forward. Not everybody's meant to be with the person who's out here doing this and that. And I'm not talking about everyone is meant to have someone. I'm not talking about men who do girls dirty or women dirty. And you're supposed to be people do you dirty. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about you should not be with a particular kind of man because he does not match with you well. You want to find a man you can match with, right? What point of being in the mindset of looking for someone or looking for your partners is because you're ready to be in a position where you two are working together. You're getting the care and love that you need, and you're giving that out. And that's really, really important. Okay, and I know you guys think there's this magic relationship where you're only going to be given to. Okay, there's no relationship where you're always going to be pouring into someone, and it's not ever going to go back the other way. Okay, that turns into a toxic mess. That turns into resentment. It turns into a mess. Okay, so we don't want that. Okay, so like I said, back to this equation here. Are women in competition? The word is yes. We are in competition with each other. We're competing with each other on a different age level, on a different, when I mean age difference, because I need somebody to understand this. When I go outside, regardless of whatever, I am in the same pool. The 30-year-old man is still looking in the same pool. A lot of times younger, that's true, but sometimes in the 30-year range, and their range can be like 10, 15 years. So, okay, so what you gonna do? So you're really competing with other women. I think that is a big reason why there is a heightened amount of surgery going around, cosmetic surgery, all these things. And yeah, we all think that's wonderful to try to look your best and all those things, but that's not actually you. And that kind of sucks too, because a man who's willing to invest in you and want to be with you, but recognizing that that's not what you actually look like. And then by the time he gets children by you, all your children don't look like you. Those children got to get surgery to look like their parents, because their parents then built your own bear. Okay, and so at that point, yeah, you're competing. Younger women, you're competing with younger women to look younger. What the younger women don't have, a lot of the stability, finances, not all of them, this is just the majority. Then, you have the other way coming up. So it's like, it's like you're competing with all these things. And to me, I feel like when you're in the mind of I'm competing, it's a lot harder to find partners. If you are looking for partners, it is a lot harder to find someone to be with, because you're constantly wondering what you can do to make yourself better. Every year goes by, you get older. Every time something changes, you're not good enough. It's like kind of keeps you in a heightened state of stress, right? Heightened state of stress. Especially if it's something you can't keep up. Women are in constant competition with each other, and they're trying to keep up with sometimes even the version of themselves that no longer exist. I will say it again. You're competing with a version of you that no longer exists. And I think that's a lot of reasons why some women who are older really have a lot of animosity towards younger women and don't want to encourage them or support them. And their mind isn't in the right place when they have conversations with them, because they're in competition with them. Um, I view, not saying someone's a child, but I would view a 20-year-old as someone who I would support and lift up and make sure that they're getting information and advice that helps me better. I would not be competing with them. But like I just said, when there's older gentlemen who are trying to talk to those women, you're not competing with them because there's not a lot of women who are older who want to actually be in long-term relationships with younger men. A lot of times it's a sexual um, interaction that they are looking for. Uh, 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 Let me have fun. Let me do this. Let me feel young again. Um, it's in older women who have already established themselves, not looking for the man who's trying to build something at 20. That's just not. It's not realistically on their mind. The fun and that all that, yes. So yeah, I think this is something that we have to think about as women. I wish we would come together a little bit more and support each other, have conversations more openly. That's why places like our other channel that me and World C have, Film Flavors and Wisdom, we try to promote that. That we're in all different age rounds. We're showing how to cook and be a little bit more feminine if you're interested in that. I'm not saying being extremely feminine is for every woman. Um, some men like assertive women. If that's what you want to do, fine. But still find your feminine energy and go with that, right? So if you are interested, like I said, those are some of the channels. There's other channels, but we'll promote those things. But a lot of women who are competing with each other in these giant groups of pools of competition, it is very stressful. And I can see why there is a lot of things that we were going to talk about, loyalty, that doesn't exist among women. I don't think that is a natural characteristic of a woman. I'm not saying every woman is unloyal in general. I'm talking about the actual concept, and me and Royalty has had this conversation before. Maybe the idea of what loyalty means is different for us. I actually don't believe that, but that is the point of view. If loyalty is, I'll stand by your side no matter what, I got you, it overrose everything else. Anything that happens, I'm loyal to you. I stand by your side in whatever comes, right? That's loyalty. Most women aren't showing loyalty. That's not something that we are taught. That's not something that is um, given to us or shown. Now, if you're around a lot of men, because men usually work in hierarchy and loyalty. So when you're around a lot of men, you can at least see it. Not saying you're always going to mimic it, but you know what the hell it is. Okay, you know what it is when you see men in hierarchy. Okay, it's very easy for men to structure themselves in hierarchy of who's top dog, who's low, and then at that point, then you'll have the loyalty at some point. Not saying everybody's loyal to men. I'm just saying that's usually how this structure works. There will be men who are loyal to them, and they know what that looks like. Women don't get shown that, so we're are loyal. That's what I do believe. We are loyal to ourselves because if something was to happen, if something was to happen, we make sure the priority is ourselves and our children. And sometimes not even that. Loyalty usually lies in ourselves. That's not being anti-feminist, not being anti-woman. It's just acknowledgement of something I've noted. Um, and if you are loyal, it's like, okay, even when you're wrong, I'm staying here because I've dedicated myself to you as a person because I stand by what you say, and I being loyal to that. That's not the same. Women don't move like that. As soon as sometimes a man come in the room, all hell break loose. All hell break loose. We'll be like, oh my God, a man just walk in the room, a girl will throw you on the bus. She'll have his friend turn around when he's talking about, hey, you know what, your friend looks really attractive, and she wants him. She'll say, well, I mean, I guess, but she be partying a lot. They when it comes to a woman trying to secure her own means, ain't no loyalty. Ain't no loyalty. Now, you could say men will do the same. Men already know that the other man probably is not really into you to that degree, and he won't be loyal to that because he knows his friend not really interested in you as a wife or whatever. Because if he did, he was a wife or something, then he would say something. And I've had that actually happen before. There have been friends who've liked me, and they've had conversations before pursuing or having a conversation. That's loyalty, and to try to at least keep the bad blood out the air, especially if they're sincere about having a relationship with you. There will be a conversation. That's not how women move. Women don't get with it. They be like, "Girl, we just been hanging out. Hope you don't feel some kind of way." You will turn around, break up your boyfriend 6 months later. He already had a new relationship with your friend. There's women out here. It is not confusing. They're not lost. So it's just not how you would think it would go when it comes to loyalty. But definitely that is something to think about. Now, if I want to transition into poly stuff, because we all talk about polygamy, I don't always, like I said, try to keep it broader. But when we're talking about polygamy, are you possibly entertaining the idea of being polygamous, which is maybe your boyfriend talking to other women? A lot of people are starting to sway towards poly. If you're interested in that, you could talk to someone as a life coach like myself and have that discussion of what that looks like, that transition, which could be very interesting. But if you're interested in that, just let me know. Okay, so we're just plugging that in there. But in general, if you are in a situation too, this could go for also, put this up, this could also go for if you are quote unquote not titled, but you're talking to a guy and he tells you he's talking to other women. Because now you're competing, right? And a lot of women, what they do is they think, "Oh, well, you have to choose me all the way. Stop talking to all the girls and just focus on me, because that means you're really invested in me. And if I find you talking to someone else, it's over." Even though they haven't made you a girlfriend or nothing, that's what they asked for, right? So that's the issue. Is they probably still talking to the other person. They're telling you because they haven't figured it out yet. So if you're interested in that, know that when you have a situation where there's other women, your person that you're interested in is talking to, be open to the conversation of, I know it's boundaries and what we like, because obviously there's other people who are being able to sway people with saying, "Oh, well, I know they want to hear this, so if I tell them I'm into this, then they'll choose me," just because they want to be chosen, right? You want to have that conversation of if the main desires that you have with this person are going to fit. Okay, so you want to know, like, do they want children? What's going to happen in a couple of years? You want to know those kind of things, because if it's not lining up, you might as well not waste your time. And for women, you should not be wasting time at all. There's no need and no reason to waste time. And I'll say that for any woman who's over 25. There's no reason why you're wasting time on things you know that aren't going to happen. You're not going to change his mind. Okay? You're not changing his mind. Most men know what they want from a woman within 3 months. They know what they want from you. And if it's just, I want to play around with you for a little while, cool. I'll date you until I find my wife, cool. And men will do that. So don't be confused when you've been dating someone and you see this happen. People try to, I'm not even trying to use celebrity because visual for you, they will provide visual for you. Sorry. I had some pre-workout mouth is sloshy. Okay, so listen to this. Okay, so you've seen when Ashanti, right? I ain't talking about them loving each other from years and years. I think that's BS. He might have liked her, he wanted her, and blah blah blah. But look at that. He was the other woman he was with, which I don't remember her name. He was with her for years. Never proposed. They try to show pictures. I know celebrity stuff that be BS, but at the end of the day, this is what I'm trying to tell you. Why is it that he was with a whole other woman for years? Years. Things weren't going great, but they was trying to make it work. All this. She thought she gave him some space. He would come in and be like, "Hey, this is exactly what I wanted." No. What he did, he went outside and he found somebody he really wanted who was available now. You wanting someone does not make them want you. She was never going to be the. She was not. Some women want to play the weight game. The only thing you're waiting for is a hopefully he doesn't look as attractive. That's another thing you slip up. You got a good looking man. I'll say that again for the people in the back. If your man look good, okay, don't be confused. You know what a good looking man is, okay? Your man go to the gym and stuff. Your man go to the gym. Maybe he didn't go to the gym. Maybe he a little thick, baby daddy. I don't know. I'm trying to tell you something. If he big, if he look good in the face, all that, and he got a little something out there, charismatic look. Okay, you know, and I know. If you let him go outside, oh, the people gonna come too. So are you confused? You're not confused. You let him go outside, thought he wasn't gonna find nobody. But the thing is, he's attractive. He has a lot of qualities that women want. There's gonna be some woman who pick him up. No matter how pretty you is, there's gonna be a woman who's gonna pick him up. And that's what I'm trying to say. You're banking on him not being as attractive to other women that he'll be like, oh man, ain't none out here that I really want. Because the only ones coming to me are these ugly girls or these girls with all these problems. This is what you hoping on. You banking on it. And when your man come back talking about he didn't find something new, you look confused. You ain't lost. He wanted to be outside to begin with. So Ashanti and Nelly got together. And look, he didn't wait. That man, they can say all day, he married that woman as soon as possible. There wasn't no way. He already knew. And you have to remember that as a woman, that if you are in a monogamous situation, let's be honest, monogamous relationship, that the men are the ones who ask to marry, right? In most cases. And so at the end of the day, you really don't have to say. He already has made a decision. It don't take that long. And anybody who say it take that long, or they're trying, the only reason they say gonna take long is for two reasons. They want to financially get into place and all that. But they still will say they're going to marry you. Trying to get a ring and set things up. There are time limits on things. And men who know that a woman's best commodity is her time, don't waste mine. That's not something you have. He can play around all day. You do not have time. So no man. Do not give these men time. They can have the time by themselves, not with your time. Time is money. And if you about your money, that's a problem. Okay, that's almost worse than messing with somebody's kid. That's crazy. No, okay, don't do it. Don't do it, ladies. Don't do it. And I don't think that I'm just saying that for just no reason. I know most women have been a victim of losing time. A victim. I'm gonna call you a victim today. That's a whole nother show. Women and being victims, but that is a victim. Even if you're a victim to your own crime. And what I mean by that is allowing a man to take your time. You're a victim of your own crime. It's a crime, and you're a victim of your own crime. Don't be a victim to your own crime, baby. So that is what a lot of the times the issue. Now, I'm going to get a little deeper in the policy. So if you guys want to check out, I understand. Next part. So, with dating women into your pod, that's where it's very interesting and all that. So, a lot of women feel like they're in competition with other women in polygamy. First thing is, you should have a partner. Not all partners like this, but you should not ever feel like you're competing. Because you're chosen. That's very important. You have to recognize you were chosen, and your man he chose you. And some men do play games, so I'm not talking about them. Your man should make sure that you are very aware that you are chosen. However that looks, that's amongst yourself. But you need to have a conversation about how that looks. You should not feel like you're competing with other women. When they go out talking to other women, you're not competing. Now, I will say this. We try to do a little section with Reddit and things like that because I want to do those. But listen, Real poly-minded people are rarely in the mindset of competing. People who are in the mindset of competing usually are transitional poly people. They're transitioning, and not there's a lot of people are transitioning because of where everything's going, the whole other thing. But when you're transitioning from monogamy to poly, is a big thing because you've been indoctrinated with believing that you should always be number one and the best. And I have a video about that. You guys want to look at that? I'm going to make another one called being number one. Being number one. There is in your mind, you're thinking, I want to be number one on everything. I want to be his best, his first, his everything. And then that mindset of being I'm number one, you're losing the whole concept of teamwork. Okay, you can still be an asset, and you don't have to be number one. Okay, and that's what it is. Thank you, Pablo. And that's the thing. You want to make sure that you're in the right mindset. So you have to remember who he's looking for. Look about partners. I myself have. I don't know if I can do another transition person. It's a lot. Transition people are a lot. And I don't think I can do it. But if you were to, I don't think you can do it anymore at this point because once again, time is not something I want to give a lot of. So if you're not transitioning, you on the boat, we ride. So when you have the transition of the indoctrinated monogamy transitioning over, there's a lot of places and areas where you have to grow. Okay, the person who's transitioning will have to grow. One of the things for women is the competing is so high. Like I just said, that pool for women to compete with each other, okay, is so big. And when you're competing with other people constantly who aren't even in your pod, you're competing. Poly is really about this teamwork, this village that works together. And you guys are supposed to be a unit. Of course, you will strive to find good people in your pod that will make you guys all better people. And that's why it's very important to recognize what you want, what you can give, and what you need. And all those things, what you want, what you want, what you need, and what you can give. Once you find those two things, those are things hey, listen, I made that up. And that's very, very important. Because once you know that, you'll be able to find good partners that will fit with you and they will work with you as a team. Okay. So as a woman being in a situation where your partner is going out, you have to remember there's a heightened state of new relationship energy. They're excited. You should not care. But I understand people do care, but you shouldn't. He's supposed to be excited. You want them to be excited. You want your man to be excited about the person they're with, because then there's no purpose. If he's just keeping someone there as a side piece that's just there to look at for whatever purpose, I'm not sure, then that's not a good partner. You want it, and this is two things. If you're in a relationship where you're bisexual, a little bit different than if you're not bisexual. You're not bisexual and your sister wives, yes, you need to have a good connection with sister wives because obviously you will be building with this person, possibly raising children together. This is your sister. This is your teammate. Okay, you don't have to agree on everything. No one asked you to do that. Who does it? Sisters don't even agree on the crap. They usually fight and all that stuff. That's not the point. That's where that loyalty that a lot of women aren't used to. We need to turn that on because you're loyal to the team. A lot of team building has been broken down and removed from our knowledge. It's all about us, me, and participation ribbons are every fucking way. Excuse me. Participation ribbons. There's a lot of people out here participating, not doing well, but just participating and getting. They want praise for just being alive. Okay, they want you to give them a little. This is like a little flag. They want praise for being regular. And so in this atmosphere, we want to be able to remember that when we're out here, and remember that your partner is supposed to be happy when they find another person. Your partner is supposed to enjoy those moments and let them have space to do that. Now, depending on how you are, I am a compersionist. Compersionist. That is when you like to see your partner being loved. Okay, so I like that. I'm like a compersionist. I don't mind hearing the stuff. Actually, it's very. I like to hear wonderful. I want you to share those moments with me. It's a wonderful thing because if someone else can see how valuable and amazing you are, it just reaffirms that I chose right. That's what that does for me. When someone else sees how wonderful you are, that's a blessing to me. I do not see that as you somehow are going to take them, you're going to remove them from me. What that shows me is that you see what I see is wonderful, and I'm glad you can see how wonderful it is. Now we both can enjoy it. That's what I see. So that is how I feel as a compersionist. But if you're not a compersionist, you may not want to know as many details. Yes, probably not. This is the whole thing. So if you're not a compersionist, you don't want to know everything about your partner's relationship. That's okay too. There are some people who you do have a little jealousy because there's a lot of times jealousy boils down to a lot of insecurity. People say, no, it's not. It's not. Yes, it is. You can talk all day. You're never going to prove to me at any point because at the end of the day, when I break it all down, it probably take you 30, 40 minutes if you want to be real tough ass back. At the end of the day, most reasons why we are competing is because we have an insecurity about something. Regardless if it was brought to us or built up from someone else, it's an insecurity that you will be by yourself without the person that you care about. Okay? So if you care about someone and the thought that they got with someone else, they would find them more attractive or want them, who cares they want them and finds them more attractive? Are they leaving you? And the answer is no, then no one cares. But the answer to most people is yeah, they'll probably think that person's better than me. Especially, there's nothing with women. If that woman's better at something than me, a lot better. And I think that's why there's always issue when we talk about poly. There's a lot of men will come to the table with it. There's a lot of issues where women said they're okay with poly relationships, and the first thing they have issue is in the bedroom. Oh, you did her harder than me. You gave her more attention than me. You did that with her and not with me first. Or when you guys do it, it's a particular way. You never do that with me. You're competing with her right then and there in that moment because you think them being different means better. And some people might say, oh yeah, it is better. But why does that change that you're good too? Because if you weren't good, why are we here? Or why can't we learn to do it? It's just the mindset has to be changed. The thought process has to be different when you're going into these kind of relationships. And you have to remember that. And that also goes for women who are not trying to go into poly and who are just dating in general. A lot of women go in that mindset of thinking that their partner is constantly thinking about other women in that way. And that's a whole other episode. At the end of the day, there are some men who you ask man, oh, I'm your best. Have you ever noticed that everybody, if you ask them a question, you break up with somebody, the person they with is always their best. But then when they break up with them, they're the worst. I don't know how that works. I'm gonna be your best. You the best for this month. Because that don't make sense. That don't make sense. The fact that you just said that man was trash. Yeah, trash D. She had trash that. Next thing you know, you got a new man. Now it's the same. So every time you get a new relationship, that person you're with is gonna be hi Zyrax. The person you're supposed to be with, and Zyrax not listening to me this way. Every time, I'll let him repeat this because it's funny, but it's not. Every time a one man gets with someone, they go, "Oh, they're the best," and then they break up with them. They say it's trash. My thing is, why is every person you actually current with is the best, but then they're not the best lady? Like, it's too much. So that's the thing. We're constantly in competition. We're constantly worried about if someone's going to leave us and if we're not good enough. And the thing is, you know, in sometimes instances, I won't lie to you, you may not be great. A lot of times, poly relationships is the one kind of relationship that will show you how horrible you are as a person, how trash you are as a person, because all the insecurities you have will be tested if you're transitioning. All the times you think something's wrong, or if you are doing something wrong and you're not doing the best you can do, someone will either call you out about it or you can clearly see it. Because if you're not giving your partner, one of your partners, the love and like I say, like you're just like, hey, listen, I don't want to go out with you, blah blah. And you're always hanging out with your friends, right? When you're monogamy, you'd be like, oh, that's just what guys do. Now you have now. If I had two boyfriends, and every week you the only one going out with your friends every weekend, and you ain't worried about me, and it ain't because I got another partner, and then I get a partner, and somehow he got the same kind of stuff you doing, going to work and stuff, but he still go out with me. You looking like that's a choice you're making. And maybe you don't think so, but you have to evaluate your actual intention and movements. Holly will put all of that on display very quickly. You can't hide it because there are other people there. Same thing with, I've done it before. I've talked garbage and somebody's come and like, hey, that's wrong. And I'm like, why? And they're like, well, hey, listen, I have a rule and that I always say, if more than one person tells you that, it's probably you, right? And I heard someone else say that. But when I'm in the pod and if someone's like, oh, you doing this, I'm like, oh, nah, you just tripping. And then somebody else tell me that in the pod, it's probably me. I have to accept a lot of that. So I rage. Yeah, it'll bring out the most evil and nastiness. You'll find out what kind of wild, you find out how wild the partner you was with is. You might have thought they was an angel. You find out that person likes to be told. All kinds of stuff. You like, I didn't even know you was like that. And they might be like, well, I'm not like that when we over here, because this is the nice place. I like to have the flowers and the rose petals. I like it different ways. And that's okay. And being okay with being different. You don't have to be exactly, a lot of times you hear in these relationships, you'll hear people say, and this is competing also. He picks the girls he picks should be about the same kind of girl. Wow. I mean, that's a type, right? So if you find someone who's not exactly that, then they might have similar goals, similar things like that. But when it comes to like style and stuff like that, usually they're not. they're not the same. So these are the things you have to think about when you see your partner trying to possibly go out there and find new people. Like if your partner starts dating someone blonde and you're a brunette, or if you wear wigs and the other one's all natural. Like, and most of these men, they range is astronomically big. They're astronomical, like the kind of when they like all that stuff. It's astronomically big. I mean, they'll tell you, they say, oh, as long as it look right, I could date a girl from 140 pounds all the way to 210. I mean, that's a big difference. But not today. It's called acceptance, ladies. They range is so big. That's why some of them, I don't see a lot of men dating women that look that similar. Not usually. It's just not what they own. You know what I mean? So it's okay to see them do something different too, because maybe that also they already got that kind of energy that they were looking for. They got the all natural, the healer, the lover. They don't want them when they're out here looking. Because like I said, it's not about replacing anybody. It's not about getting something they don't have. There's a lot of things when people are transitioning that their mind is going through. And if they do to get the same person, like, oh, bro, why would you get another one, the same one? Like that. That's why when dating transition, transitional people, not trans people, transitioning people from monogamy to poly, it is difficult to explain to them why you will initiate dating. Because it's either you already got it, why are you trying to find another one? Or I don't have what you need, so you're looking other places. It's never just because someone came up to me and they looked nice and they had a good conversation. That's it, because that's all it took to get you. Like it's that simple. It's nothing else. I promise to God. Okay, let's read Mrs. Irex's message here. Okay, Ms. Irex. It says, I gotta be the most confident and secure in yourself to do poly. Unfortunately, I'm not. Therefore, I can't do it. If hubby even thought of entertaining it, he knows what's gonna happen. Now I understand, Cyrex. I understand, Cyrex. It's not for everybody, and that's okay. See, that's what I want to. And it's okay. Matter of fact, some of y'all need to stay the fuck out of this. Oh, excuse me. Y'all need to stay the hell away. Okay, not for you. That's okay. That is okay. This conversation is for educational purposes and also for if you're entertaining the thought. But most likely, some people have had these thoughts about doing certain things for many years, didn't know where they could go or how to possibly start it. Me, myself, I just felt like, well, why can't I care for more than one person at the same time? And no one really had the answer other than you can't do it. But I'm like, but I feel it and I do it. So why? And it's like, because that's not what you're supposed to do. You felt like that, that's different than saying, I've been indoctrinated, this is the right way. In that indoctrination also comes a lot of insecurity. And when you have security with your partner, right, with people you care about, and they secure you within knowing that they were chosen as number one, like we talked about, then that builds their security within themselves. And so going outside of that breaks down their security within themselves. Now they're thinking, am I not good enough? That's why cheating is such a devastating thing for people who've been indoctrinated with monogamy, because what happens is you automatically will go to, I'm not enough, because they're interested in this other person and I'm supposed to be number one. And that is very hard for people to understand. And the feeling doesn't feel good when someone is telling you you're not the best, when they've been telling you you're the best the whole time. And I totally understand. But if you thought I'm not competing at any time, I'm always number one because there's only one me, that's a whole other mindset. That's a whole other mindset. How can I compete with no one who's like me? I don't know. You're you, and I'm me. That's why there's no need to try to think I have to compete, because I'd never be in competition with you. I'd only be your companion. That's it. And I know you're better at things and you could do way more stuff. Or you can't do more stuff than me. But I don't think it's necessarily bad or worse. It's just different. And that is okay. And people have that mindset is different. It's kind of like that question I always ask you, is your cup half full or half empty? That's the difference between the monogamy mind and polygamy mind. Oh no. She as I said, even though I'm not really a jealous person, I just know I'll act petty. And then see, you take ownership. You take ownership. Listen, you ain't the only one. You wow. I bet you do something real petty. Out of pocket. I feel it. That's what I'm saying. Like some people, and that's okay. Like I don't doubt anybody with monogamy. I've done monogamy. It's fine. It's never been in my mind that I'm monogamous, I'm gonna die. Be that. No, I'm fine. I'm fine. I am absolutely fine. It's okay. And people try to push that then you're always in this lust or thirst. No, I'm not. I'm really not. It's fine. You can say it's fine. You'd be like, well, why do you say it's fine? I think it's kind of like saying, like, okay, like, listen, you can have dessert and you can have, pie or ice cream. And I like pie and ice cream. And then you say, oh, well, you could only have pie or ice cream. And now you're going to be sad if I only give you pie because you won't have ice cream. And I'll be like, no, I guess I'm fine. And it's funny to be like, what did you buy? She around me? Yeah, but it ain't. It's cool. It's like it don't really it don't matter. And I'll be happy with my pie every day. And it is that way, you know? That's just what it is. Hey, LA Project. So we were talking about are women in competition. Thank you for entering in here. We're gonna chop this video up, but are women in competition? Um, I do want to do a segment with this, probably over cooking too, but I think we just talked about our poly sector. I want y'all to get that part, have that chopped up. But yeah, definitely women in competition is a big thing. That I think it's overlooked. What I mean by that is I think women are constantly in competition every day. Even with friends, you can see how the friendships and things like that are going. Um, I don't think most women are real friends. I think most women are uh I don't want to say frenemies. Friendly interactions, associates. The only women who are truly in a friend state, and I don't even know, I can't stand on that all the way, would be women who are out on opposite sides of the spectrum of what they want and desire. They totally want and desire something separate than the other person. Which I don't even know if you can be friends with them because you're not on the same page. That's the only thing I can think. Yes, that's true. So Ellie said, I just said on her channel, a lot of women were taught to compete and not get along. And that's what we said earlier. Yes, we did say that, we are not taught these things. We're taught from birth that we are competing to find this something. And a lot of women say, oh, we're not taught to find men. That's so old and all that. I mean, you can say we're not told that. But I mean, if you never grow up hearing someone say, oh, how you gonna get a husband? I mean, what do they usually think they're talking about? High fiving each other? Or, you know, they'll say things like, get a job. Yes, I think more modern women are pushing younger women to go get jobs and things like that for security purposes because they want to make sure that the women are secure with that. And with that comes things. That's a whole other conversation. But we are not shown to be really friends with each other. You tolerate each other until the prize is in the room. Is that fair? I think that's the best way to say it. When something comes into the room that you want, we are no longer friends. So it's situational. Sorry. The Gens before treated men as um no, I can't see. I apologize. Okay, so she said Ellie said the Gens before treated men as is sacred or a commodity and would be compete, but I don't see that much now. A sacred commodity and would compete, but I don't see that much now. Uh they're not. And I'm being honest, I think a lot of men out here are garbage. I looked up. I don't mean it like that. Well, I mean my garbage. What I mean by that is these men is not looking for wives. So if they ain't looking for wives, then I mean, what else are they looking for? A good time. Because then if they ain't looking for wives, what are we doing? I don't. These a good man who is intentional and is of a certain age. I don't know. That take time to find. I mean, that's unfortunate. I'm not saying I never found any. But you gotta find them, and you have to find them in the right. It's like all kinds of stuff. It's wild. They ain't just listen. They ain't just falling off trees. Say that. Okay, hang on. Now I'm so sorry. Let me move this over a little bit because I'm trying to read it through. First of all, I got my glasses on, but then it's not. I'll put it on the screen so I can read it. Okay. So I don't know. I always wanted feminine, female friends first and foremost. So I don't go in with competing mindset, and that is true. Now I will say this: I would rather be friends with a married a woman with a, a loyal or not loyal, they can be loyal, but like with a partner they've been with for a while and that they're good together. I'd rather be friends with those people. I'd rather be friends with a married person any day. I know they don't want them to be friends with me, but I'd rather. The reason why I will say that is because the reason why I'm saying is because of this. They're not competing with me. And I'm not saying just me as a person. When I like I've noticed that other women too, like we're not competing. A woman who knows her husband does not do poly or whatever. And she knows her husband would not be okay with a woman having another man, like me, like basically polyandry. There are men who are like, oh, I won't talk to her, right? That's cool. I will hang out with you two because I know I don't got no gonna have no problem. No problem at all. I ain't got no issue. Ain't gonna worry about because you ain't worried about it. So we're not competing. We're just being friends. But I'm fine with that. I'm okay. Uh-huh. And that's the truth. So you said they act like a good man was real hard to find. Listen, I mean they did. These women out here, like you said, they did act like these men were these sacred commodities. These men were so special. But the thing is that it was a commodity to find a man who can work and take care of a family in those particular ways. I'll give you that. I'll give you that. Who was going to do that? Who wasn't running the streets? And who even wanted me to go back that far? Who aren't running the streets and thugging, part of gangs and all that, and they just want to sit their ass down and do a regular job. And then they'll say, some men will say that women aren't attracted to those kind of men. Now we want the thug, the man who's out here acting up, and that might be true. Women want a little excitement, right? I've heard women say, "Oh, they don't want nobody born." I'm gonna tell you something. I want you women to stop telling these guys that. I want a man who is working. Okay, I don't know who is out here. Stop, y'all out here talking about these men out here. Y'all talking about these crazy people that acting up loud. I don't know what kind of excitement y'all need. I don't want it. I don't want it. Nope. I don't want it. Don't need it. I've never thought that was attractive. I don't want the. I don't know why that would be attractive. Okay, so I just read yours. You know I can't see. So we won't bring it up. Okay, it's probably you or one here, and I always enjoy you on panels. Same with Lauren. Thank you so much. I mean, I really enjoy. Like I said, I enjoy Zyrex. Has good energy. I like how she moves in the room. I can tell Zyrex is married in a positive way. And I like I said, I'm be friends with you all day because you good all day. The energy is just right. They just are just right. A good married woman is a nice energy. And I'm talking to married couples. Like, you find a nice married couple who actually get along and they're productive together. They're amazing. They the best. They the best. They really is. They're good, supportive woman, positive energy, loyal to that man. Oh, they good. They good. I like them. Their hands up to those wonderful couples out there who make their relationship wonderful and love each other. And it's a different energy when a woman is secure within her relationship. It's a different energy, and it's very pleasant. So that's what I mean. When they have that kind of energy, it's very pleasant to be around. It's encouraging, and they turn into teachers of women. To be honest, anyone who is giving out, I know they say that's big mama idea, all that, but those women who are married like that, regardless of how they got it or whatnot, the kind of energy and friendliness and the giving soul that they had, it's from them feeling that secure in that. It's different. So that's nice to see that. You don't see it as much, unfortunately. So I really appreciate you guys. Like I said, I didn't want to go too long because I'm going to try to do another live. And so I wanted to wrap this one up. And I'm gonna probably hop on a couple lives, do another live. I have to do a couple things, but I appreciate you guys coming here. I'm gonna try to do a download of this at my new intro, because clearly I have a new intro and I don't put it on anything. It's stupid. Yes, I'm trying to tell you, Zyrex, a supportive husband is an amazing thing. Um, and even supporting partners. And if you can't get married, I understand because it's like 5 of y'all. I get it. But having a supportive husband, supportive partners, those people who are secure within the partnerships are amazing. They have good energy and they draw you in because what they have is very positive and you want to be around it. So, absolutely. But yes, thank you guys for coming to the show. Thank you, LA Project. Thank you, Zyrex. Check out their channels. LA Project has her own channel. You can check that out. Zyrex does not have a channel, but she runs around. You'll see her. Pablo, thank you for coming and sharing with us. And definitely hitting up all the wonderful comments. I'm gonna do it on live. I will. Thank you for putting on the alerts. Okay, so I might have to do some downloads. I want to do lives, but I'm gonna have to do some downloads because I want to be able to edit. So I'm trying to look into that. But as you can see, I'm just gonna go and start doing it every day because what's gonna happen is I can download from here, then upload it back into my actual downloads and then keep the live where it's at. So that's what I want to do, so that people can look at it later or at their free leisure. So yeah, but thank you guys for coming on here. Thank you, appreciate it. Hopefully I didn't miss anyone else because I know people came in here and not be looking around. Tracy, thank you. Sky Church, thank you guys for coming in and sharing with us. Like I said, guys, please like and subscribe. I appreciate it. And we're gonna get you some good videos, good topics. If you guys have topics and things like that you'd like to bring to the table, please go ahead and just email that to me. I have Instagram, all those things. But I do have some more topics and some poly ones and relationship ones. So I'm gonna try to dissect that into 2 pieces because all relationships have good relationships, no matter if they're monogamous or poly. We're talking about building good relationships one-on-one with people and how it makes us better every day. So thank you guys for showing up, and I'll tell you guys on another day. Bye.